Okay, let's dive in. We've all seen those movie scenes, right? The trading floor chaos, people yelling, fortunes made or lost in, like, seconds.
Absolutely. That intense, almost frantic energy, it's become the standard image.
And for a lot of people, that image, shaped by huge films like Wall Street or more recently The Big Short,
Yeah,
well, that is finance.
that's the perception, yeah.
So our mission today, let's pull back the curtain on that. If you're looking for the real story, the quick version, we're digging into research straight from professional traders. You know, the people actually living it.
Comparing their reality to what Hollywood serves up.
Exactly. We want to know what they say is legit, what makes them, roll their eyes. And crucially, how does all that movie magic affect how everyone else sees the industry?
It's a great question. Because in the movies, it doesn't matter if it's the 80s insider trading stuff or a modern meltdown.
It's always dialed up to 11. The adrenaline's constantly high, which leads directly to the core issue these studies tackled. Just how accurate is all that drama? And the key here, I think, is who is answering. It's not film critics, right?
No, absolutely not. We're hearing from the traders themselves. And this wasn't just a casual, did you like the movie kind of thing.
That's right.
The research really got into the weeds, cataloging reactions to very specific scenes, specific plot points. So the traders become these like expert witnesses on accuracy.
Separating the real deal from, well, the Hollywood scan.
Precisely. And maybe unsurprisingly, a lot of what you suspect turns out to be true. Much of that visible, high drama chaos, it's inflated.
For entertainment, obviously.
Yeah, Hollywood needs that fast pace, that big emotional payoff. The research confirms that those scenes where someone slams down a phone, makes a huge snap decision, closes a massive trade, and boom, problem solved.
That's not really how it works.
Not even close, usually. Real deals can involve, weeks of negotiation, tons of paperwork, compliance checks, things that take serious time, not instant fireworks.
Okay, so what about the shouting? That's probably the biggest trope, isn't it? The image of people just screaming into phones, tearing things up.
That's a huge one. And the findings, especially now with so much electronic trading, that kind of physical, frantic yelling is almost entirely gone.
Really, so it's not like that anymore.
Not generally, no. The research points out that movies need that visible tension. You need to see the stress.
Makes sense for a visual medium.
Right. One trader actually joked the loudest shouting happens when the coffee machine breaks, not over some bad trade.
Huh. Okay, I can believe that.
Honestly, yelling like you see in the movies, that probably gets you a chat with HR these days.
So the modern floor is quieter.
Surprisingly so, often. It's more the sound of keyboards clicking, quiet, focused conversations. The chaos is internal, mental pressure, not usually a shouting match.
Which brings us to something I found fascinating in the research. It wasn't just general opinions. They did like a detailed breakdown of key movie scenes, right? Point by point on accuracy.
They did. Really granular stuff.
So if most of the yelling and the instant drama is fake, does Hollywood just get everything wrong then?
But that's the twist. Here's the sort of aha moment from the findings. Sometimes Hollywood actually gets things.
Well,
Surprisingly right.
okay, now I'm intrigued. What kind of things?
Specifically the core mechanics and the jargon, while the huge emotional meltdowns or the, moral speeches might be pure fiction.
The technical stuff can be accurate.
Yes, sometimes quite precise.
Can you give an example? Like what details did the traders actually say, yeah, they nailed that?
Sure. The research highlighted films like The Big Short again. Traders pointed out how well it explained some really complex financial instruments.
Right.
They confirmed that the way the film depicted, say, a margin call, that sudden demand for more money to cover losses, the pressure, the terminology, that was often spot on.
Interesting.
Or the language around shorting a stock, or those infamous credit default swaps. Even if the characters are, larger than life.
The what and the how of the financial product itself.
Exactly. The actual function and the risk involved, often presented with, surprising technical accuracy.
Okay, but wait. If a film like The Big Short could get those technical details right, maybe even explain them,
Yeah.
doesn't that mean Hollywood can do accuracy if it wants to? Are the traders maybe just reacting negatively to the drama because it doesn't look like their specific desk?
That's a really fair point, and the research doesn't suggest Hollywood can't be accurate. It's more about priorities. Accuracy often seems secondary to the spectacle, to the story they want to tell.
So the films that get it right probably had good consultants.
Definitely. Often deep consulting. But even in those films, it's the pacing, the constant sense of crisis, the lack of just ordinary days. That's what skews the overall picture.
Right. They compress everything.
Yeah, they might accurately explain an instrument, but they don't capture the day-to-day experience of managing it, which is often less explosive, more methodical.
That's a key difference. Understanding the what versus understanding the how it feels or how it actually works day to day.
Exactly.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about what traders think, but what about the impact on everyone else? The millions watching these films who aren't in finance.
Yeah, this is huge. The study really emphasized how much fiction shapes the outsider's view. That classic Gordon Gekko image, aggressive, maybe a bit sleazy, talking fast.
Greed is good.
Right. That stereotype, whether a movie is mostly true or mostly false, kind of becomes the default public perception.
So these movie stories, accurate or not, end up defining the whole industry for people on the outside.
Pretty much. It often overshadows the reality, which might involve a lot more quiet risk modeling and checking regulations than dramatic confrontations.
It's like the drama that makes the movie work is the same thing that fuels misunderstanding or even mistrust of the actual industry.
Well put. The narrative needs heroes and villains, and the trading floor provides a ready-made stage for that conflict.
So when you tell someone you work in finance,
Their first thought is probably more Wolf of Wall Street than, say, the operational mechanics of monetary policy. It's the movie crisis model versus the need for stability in real markets.
okay, speaking of reality versus movies,
Hmm.
if we strip away the Hollywood drama, the billion-dollar plot twists, the research also pointed to the operational side of things, the day-to-day grind. This is where the glamour really fades.
Right. Completely evaporates. And this part of the findings is interesting because it's less about finance itself and more about, well, basic human logistics.
Logistics. Yeah, the research suggests the operational reality boils down to managing three key things: sleep, coffee, and time zones. Sleep, coffee, and time zones. That's mundane compared to movie plots.
It is. But according to the traders surveyed, mastering this is maybe the constant challenge in a global trading career.
Wow. So instead of deal excitement, it's about exhaustion management. Why are time zones such a big deal?
Because global markets are always open somewhere. If your desk is in New York, you're potentially dealing with London opening, which is super early for you, and maybe also tracking Asia closing late at night.
Ah, okay. It's not a 9 to 5 job where you just switch off.
Not at the highest levels, often not. It's like a continuous relay race across the globe. So the findings really stressed that managing your stamina, getting quality sleep whenever possible, and yes, relying on a lot of caffeine.
That's not just incidental stuff.
No, it's considered core to the job. It's about maintaining peak mental performance under relentless chronic pressure.
So it's the sheer temporal pressure, the constant onness. Movies show fast money, but the reality involves fighting your own body clock just to stay sharp.
Exactly that. And let's be honest, that kind of grime doesn't make for thrilling cinema.
Right. A film about someone deciding on their third coffee at 3 a.m. to monitor Tokyo. Maybe not a blockbuster.
Probably not. The reality of landing a big trade might involve, 16-hour days spent meticulously modeling risk, not a sudden shout in the final seconds of trading.
So success is less about that one dramatic moment and more about disciplined endurance over time.
A huge part of it seems to be managing that personal infrastructure, your own energy, focus, resilience, especially with the strain of global hours, that disciplined exhaustion. That's the hidden reality, far more than the desk clearing scream. Okay, so let's wrap this up. The big takeaway seems to be this gap. Hollywood, like in The Big Short, can sometimes nail technical details and capture real tension, right? Some accuracy pops through, but the constant crisis mode, the over-the-top action, that's mostly for the screen. The actual difficulty, according to real traders, is often more about managing those basics: sleep, coffee, time zones, the relentless logistics and endurance required. It's demanding, just. Maybe not always in the explosive ways movies portray.
So, thinking bigger picture now, knowing how much these fictional portrayals shape public opinion on finance, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It absolutely should. We've zeroed in on trading, but think about it. What other high-stakes jobs or fields might you be viewing through that same kind of movie filter? Like military operations or politics or even medicine.
Exactly. Where does your perception of what those jobs are really like come from? Is it from deep understanding, or is it maybe influenced more than you realize by dramatic, entertaining fiction?
So the final thought for you, the listener, is really about critical consumption.
Yeah. Always try to question the source. Where does your knowledge come from? Is it the reality, or is it the really well-told, spectacular story? Something to think about.